Okay.
All right, well. Hey, everybody.
Hey,
It's your girl, Yuva.
it's your girl Robin.
And welcome to 4T
Welcome,
over
welcome,
at
welcome.
Right. Welcome. Today's Wednesday, April 6th, 2022. And you could have been anywhere in the world tonight, but you are here on live with us. We are live, all the way live. And we're going to pray for good technical, uh, no technical difficulties tonight. Okay. Thank you, Jesus.
Right.
How's everybody doing today? Oh my goodness. Okay, so if my banner was up running like it should be, then you know we're gonna have to talk about Will and Jada. Oh yes, I'm sorry. We can we
Yeah.
cannot call ourselves a podcast and really not address this issue. And why is it an issue? Will is not our cousin. He not our brother, but we still gotta talk about them anyway because this is um I think relationships are important, Black relationships. And so, not that we're comparing ourselves to Will or Jada, but it's just something that we got to talk about because there's a lot of moving pieces to this. And so, we need to address this. And I just want to say, wow, what do I think about the whole thing? I've been having so many
Well, you
mixed
got where
emotions.
to start first. What part to start
Yes,
on
where
first?
do we
The
start?
slap or how we led to the slap?
Um,
Because those two different things.
okay, I'm gonna try to sum this up because I know I can be quite talkative, quite loquacious, but I'm gonna try to sum this up. Um, I won, and this is just all my personal opinions. This is nothing, whatever. This is just my opinion. I don't think Chris knew. People get into like the psychology of Chris Rock. I don't know him. Don't know what he's been through. I can't say. I could speculate many things, but unless we know them personally, so I'm just gonna say my opinion. I don't think he knew that she had alopecia or what that. Even though he did, see that I'm contradicting. Even though he did that show about hair, the creamy crack and all black women in their hair.
Oh, that was his show?
Yeah, remember he did that documentary?
I didn't know that it was his documentary. I didn't realize. I never saw it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he wrote it, but he was the host and he was the person doing the documentary about
That
black
seemed
women
kind
in
of
their
shady.
hair. So
Yeah.
now I'm just like, okay,
I
that's
don't know
a
about that,
sensitive
Chris.
subject.
Yeah,
That's a
you.
sensitive subject.
I don't know about that now.
You're right. He did, and I remember that because people were talking about that, and I was like, yeah, he did, because he was like creamy crack. He named the perm the creamy crack. That's where the perm. So
Creamy
yeah,
crack.
so he knows that black women is a cultural thing, and their hair is very serious. I think women, period. I'm not even just going to say black women because if any woman loses their hair, that's something major. That's a major part of what makes us women. Doesn't know to sound sexist, but it does. Unless you are the natural type or you wear your hair in a ball cut, we ever since we're little, we want to look neat, presentable. That's how our mothers raised us. You
Yeah.
know, your hair combed. It's your first presentation.
Hmm.
Um, so he should have known that that was a very sensitive subject. Was it cruel? And he was being a comedian. They roast people at these. That's their job, to roast and joke
Mhm.
with people. And it was lighthearted. But I think
I will say though, normally when the joke is done, it's done to the person that's actually going to get an award, not their wife or significant other. I will say that. Like that was kind of
well,
different. You know
oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because
because the people that
she wasn't on display for an award, and it was about the Oscar. So why are you coming
right,
for his
that's
wife?
true. Because it was the couple
I just
before.
thought about that. I
He
just
it
thought
was
about
a
that.
couple before that he made a joke with, but I guess both of them were up for Oscars because he said if she win, if you win, you gonna lose. So you better hope that Will Smith win. It was a couple. I don't even know who they are. There's some actors, but nobody knows anything else other than Will slap Chris. That's all they know about the awards. But and then Will was laughing. That's the funny part. I mean, that's the part that's just like he was laughing at first, and then when he saw Jada's face, and there must be some
Mhm.
underlying tension about his manhood or how he handles things, because immediately that set him off
Don't be
to
laugh.
go and strike this man. I just think that I know that Will wasn't thinking.
Is it a female move? Do you think people are calling him simps and act
I
and then
I don't think he's a simp. I think he really loves his wife.
yeah.
He really values, and that's what we're gonna talk about tonight. What deal breakers for you. He really
Hmm.
values marriage. He doesn't believe in divorce, and so he could. I'm quite sure there's many times that Jada wanted to leave, and he just didn't want that to happen, and he wanted to work on it. Does that make him a simp? I just think in a relationship, somebody's always going to love somebody more, and in this
Yeah.
particular case, it's
It's a good way to
it's
look at
him.
it. Right.
Um, Jada was just, I think she would probably be, and again, I would love to have, oh, wouldn't that be awesome if Jada could come on here, red table talk? I'd be like, Jada. But
A
now
woman of a certain age.
she's been, she's been quiet about that. Um, she talked about the entanglement, but she's been quiet
Okay.
about this particular thing. And she's opened up that she, doesn't feel the kind of way about her husband. And I don't know if she's always felt like that, or it's something that he did or said or didn't do
Yeah. It's
that made
different
her.
things coming out I didn't know about, like the whole Tupac story, Willow saying she wished Tupac was her father.
Yeah,
I don't know. We could dive deeper into that. Her friendship with Tupac. Now people are saying they think it was something more, or that she wanted Will to be like Tupac. So it's a lot of context behind the slap. So it's
she
hard
and
to make a snap decision. Um, yeah,
and I don't think he really thought out, if I slap this man, the ramifications that's going to go behind it.
it was rage.
And
It
he
was he
forgot.
snapped. He snapped.
Yeah,
It
he
wasn't even
forgot that he
rage. He
was
just
black.
snapped. He just snapped.
He forgot that he was black, and black people don't have the same leeway that white folks do in Hollywood or anywhere else. You're gonna, if your white counterpart does the same thing, you're gonna get a slap on the wrist, but you're
Mhm.
risking so much more by being a black man in
Yeah.
America, whether you're in Hollywood or not. You have
At
to
the
really
prime of your life,
right.
this wasn't
You,
planned.
and we know this. We know that there's people who have done horrendous things to other people, other white people, other black
Right.
people. There's people, Harvey Weinstein. I mean, you can go down the list on
Yeah.
down of white people in Hollywood who've done things, who've got slaps on the wrist where they're black counterparts. And I'm like, you guys know y'all can't do the same things. We still
Hmm.
fighting prejudice. We're still fighting privilege, and y'all know this. But I think being in Hollywood and making a certain amount of money, you tend to forget your blackness, and then that's
Yeah.
and and so
Okay, that's a good way of looking at it.
he didn't
That's
put it
true.
in check, and then he was out. And I will say that Chris maintained himself, because at one time he looked like he was about to hit Will back, but
Hmm.
he looked like he caught himself and remembered, I'm black. I'm hosting the Oscars. Get it together. Like, wow, what was that? And let me get myself together. Let me not react to this, because this was crazy. But
Yeah.
And so
Well,
he was able
mhm.
to maintain. And so I just think that's how it went. And I think by Jada not coming out and Chris not coming out to really make a statement, a live statement. I think written statements are good, but sometimes you just get that live statement needs to come out and say, look, um, since he apologized, he needs to accept Will's apology and help that man get back on track. And Will really needed to apologize to him um back for acting out like that because he could have handled it way differently. Be like, I'll talk to you after the show, had a sit down heart to heart. And I guess
Mhm.
it was just the heat of the moment. In the heat of the moment you do crazy things. And that just wasn't the time or the place. I don't think he's a simp. I don't think he's a bad person. I don't think Jada's bad. She might be dealing with a lot of emotional issues. It is obvious that she is, and not just with her hair, but she's dealing with some things too. And people don't give women a fair shake. It's a
Yeah.
double standard when it comes to men and women. Like if it was a man that was having an entanglement and he stayed with, his wife wanted to stay and work it out with him, they wouldn't be like, "Oh, she's stupid, she's stupid." They would be like, "Oh, okay, I'm glad he has a good woman." That's how they would see it. He has a good woman to stay by his side and is going to see it through. But for some reason, because she's a woman, they're going to see her as a whole. They're going to see him as a simp for having that
Yeah.
same energy. And so that's just society. The society we live in.
Society of it.
It is. It's a double standard, and
I
that's
mean,
a whole nother
you said
topic.
everything that I was thinking. The only thing I can do is say to people, I do think that she's going to discuss it. Of course, she has a platform herself, so they're supposed to get together and talk about it on Red Table Talk and come forward with their responses to that night and everything.
Right.
Um, I people were saying this is like mental health, but I want to point out that there's a difference of having a mental health disorder and just having a break. Just people in general, and you and I talked about this, and I'll speak you just on the mental health side. If for people who don't know, I can really speak on it. I just want to point that out there. Um, I I work with clients and patients and people, um, you know, who may come out thinking, for instance, with Will, people are like, "Oh, he got an anger problem, something's wrong." But if you think about it, when in the history of him being Will, since he was what 19 or 18 years old, has he ever expressed any kind of disdain publicly, or has he ever checked anybody or
Right.
express how he felt about something? So I just feel like it's not healthy. You can be a healthy person and still have a break.
Right.
You can go through life as a healthy person, but we all know he does have issues. Everybody read his book, read the book, watch Jada's show before everybody comes to conclusion off of what was it, like a 2 second slap, a 5 second situation. And I feel like I can't fully give an account of, in terms of saying that he has mental health issues based on what I just saw a snap of what he just did. Because
Right.
he has a lot of buildup. You cannot go through life not defending yourself. And they say that whenever something happens with some of the celebrities, they're told, oh, don't say anything, just ignore it. But now I'm starting to think that might not be healthy. That's a whole nother topic. Like when
Right.
something happens, I think you should address it in some way. You don't have to address it publicly, but call that person on the phone. I'm thinking about Taylor Swift and Kanye West. It was addressed.
Mm-hmm.
She addressed it. She checked them, later on. That's what you do, because if you allow people to keep doing bullying, that's what it is, common day bullying, things to you, you are going to come out, you are going to snap. I don't think it was directed towards Chris. I think Chris has been known. I've seen a few, everybody's bringing up his shows. Even I think Marlon Wayans was making fun of him, how bad he kind of talked about other entertainers. They actually have a clip of like a fake Britney Spears, fake, entertainers going up there and literally beating him. This is in the 90s, I think I
Oh
saw
yeah,
this.
I saw that.
So who knows? They made this something that all people thought about, but because of who they are, they don't have the luxury of being us.
Right,
Most of us would have went and they would have handled that, but they don't have that luxury. So we have to think about the pressure that's put on stars. So not only is he a star, he's an international superstar. Plus, he's a black man. Plus, he has to represent black marriage and all this entity. And it's not his fault that his people are acting like, oh, his wife just put out a show, but y'all think that Jada gonna do something and not include Will, or he don't? She's not gonna ask him about it first. That people are acting like she just went, or even the content of it. Do they
right,
really think that she would say anything or discuss anything on that show without letting him know? It's
right.
in his home. It is in his home. So I guess I'm not saying that did she handle things right. No, but nobody's perfect, and this is the first. I've never been accused of, being a cougar before. Who know all this stuff that was happening to them was new because they normally didn't they don't put their stuff out. So it's
Right.
a lot of pressure and a lot of expectation that they should know something that they honestly never addressed things until this time in their life. We didn't know anything. Everything's been speculation and what's going on. The only thing I can say was that wasn't no matter what how Chris Rock may instigate things or he's still a comedian.
Right.
Um, Will Smith himself is a comedian. So he understands that, but it's a whole lot going into that. We know they're friends. We don't know if he said, "Hey, I don't care if you do jokes about me, just leave Jada out." We don't know what happened that around the
Right.
context of it. We don't know why Chris Rock probably said, if this Will's doing this, he's probably really tripping. So I just think he's having a moment, and the moment's overdue. I just wish that the moment wasn't violent.
That
I
moment.
wish the moment wasn't on national television. I wish that, and I can suspect that black stars, black superstars. This is
Right.
also shocking because we've never seen this between black superstars. We've never
Right.
seen Prince and Michael Jackson duke it out.
No.
People have had spats, but we never brought it. I don't remember them bringing it to the public eye. Now rappers, yeah, we're used to that. We're talking about two superstars at the top of their level. You know what I'm saying? Like we've never seen. I have to believe that people have had little spats before. I think I heard about Gabrielle Union and Jada Pinkett, and nobody knew about it until Gabrielle Union came on the show,
Mm.
admitting that she had jealousy and all this stuff about Jada or whatever was going on, and Jada didn't know. But that's how you handle stuff. You don't.
Yeah, you gotta
she
air it
she brought it out.
out.
She
Right.
aired it out. So
And you
I
don't
think
smack nobody.
I think that's why we're so shocked. Because we're used to rappers doing it, which is sad that everybody's like, oh, they're not rappers. If you're a certain class, you should be acting,
But
but none of us should be doing that.
yeah, but how do people? And I said that the timing and the place was all wrong. But like
Yeah, he
people tune
snapped.
in for that. Ever since I'm gonna say the Jerry Springer culture and the
Yeah,
Housewives of Atlanta and all these places where they look for the drama, the slapping.
yeah.
And just because they didn't expect it from these particular people is bad and it's wrong. So
They're
you
treating them like
glorifying it,
criminals. Why they should
right?
be
You
locked up.
glorifying it on one hand, and it's just so many. Like I said, it's just so many moving pieces. It's hard to say, but I don't think he should lose his Oscar because he earned
No.
that. He earned that. He played that part. That was a good ass movie,
Hmm.
and he
The
played that
movie
role
itself won the Oscar. That's how
right.
good it was. I just hate that. That's Will should have been nominated for Ali. I forgot the movie where he played Jaden's dad. I forgot that movie where the man was homeless and was
Oh
working, trying to
yeah,
figure out how Wall Street. And
yeah,
there were some great. He's a great actor. He's proven himself. He's worked hard at his craft to become. And when I see a movie, I don't think, oh, that's Will Smith in it. He embodies that character to
right,
the fullest. He didn't start off being an actor. We all know this. He's a rapper, and even I think that's what's blowing, kind of getting to everybody because when he started off rapping, he refused to curse. He refused to do certain things he promised his grandmother. Like he's always had values, and I just hate that. I mean, you were talking about people putting, certain people on pedestals, and it's like as soon as they do something that's God forbid, it's like all of a sudden people just kind of beating you down. So
yeah,
I just encourage us as at least as the black community to surround them with love. to surround Chris with love, and not um, beat up on either party because, and honestly, this is something private. Yes, he made it public, but let them figure this out in their own way and deal with it in their own way. We're not judge or jury, and hopefully, whatever's really bothering Will, that he'll just talk to someone about it. I really think this is what happens. I'm not saying I think they have been to therapy, but it sounds like they've been to therapy for their marriage. But maybe he needs to go to therapy for himself. His mother was abused. There's a lot of stuff that he saw. So we just need to. I just ask that our community show them grace.
Right.
That's all.
And
Just show them grace.
get a man a break. He's been
Yeah.
It's been all 2 weeks, and they just still
Just routing him.
let it go. He's at the end of the day, he's a black man, and he hasn't. I mean, outside of Chris Rock, he hasn't hurt anybody. He's trying to maintain his family and trying to maintain his image. Was this the right way to do it? No. It was not. But
he's apologized. He's apologized for his behavior. Not weeks after or months after.
A deal breaker, but should he lose everything that he worked for this incident? No.
Absolutely
I'm not in agreement to that. Do I think he's a simp? No. I just think that him and Jada probably was never meant to be married. They're not each other's soulmate. They're good friends, and they are. No, I'm just saying. I don't think they're each other's soulmates. He might have.
I think they're best friends.
Yeah, they're best friends, and they're great co-parent. Well, they having issues with that, but they're great friends. And she was looking for something else in a time and culture, and that's going to be another topic: thugs versus good guys.
Yeah,
we came up in a culture. She came up with Generation X, and in the DMV, and she is from the DMV. That was a thing. That was like even the guys who had jobs. This thug life thing was real. It was real serious, and it was like almost.
Dang.
And
you're right. She's a Maryland girl. As a matter of fact, nobody in this country should be talking about this. That's Maryland girl.
It's not anybody who comes
with no authority. If you didn't grow up in Maryland, you don't have no authority. I was born in Baltimore too. We can make different choices now. Now if you look at her, she's a classy. You never know where she came from. Like for the most part, but she is a classy.
She toned it down, but
she toned it down a whole. It's still in her.
Right.
It's still in you.
I went to the same school, so if he's a thug, she's the female version. Okay, and I'm just saying, does that give her a pass? No. Did it give Tupac a pass? No. It is what it is. And Will knew that going in. So do he get what he deserved? No, but he loved her and he wanted to make it work at all costs. And does that make him a simp? No.
She got pregnant with Jaden. And I think the whole sentence was that she wanted to have the baby, but she didn't feel like she had to get married. Right. But he loved her anyway. He already felt like he failed at the first marriage. So, and her mom was like old school. She old school Baltimore nurse. Her mom was also have issues with drugs.
So like, girl, you better marry this rich man, handsome tall guy.
Her mom was like, we don't do that. Her mom had her young. And her parents made her get married to her father. And she told her, you're going to marry him. You love him. She's like, yeah, I do, but I don't think I'm ready. We can probably table her because I know that would be a whole nother topic. But she was not ready to get married. Will wanted her to get married, wanted to be married, and her mom wanted her to marry Will. What mother wouldn't want them to marry Will at that point? You know what I'm saying? Right. Nice guy that wants to be loyal. That wants to be loyal, that wants to be married, that wants to be a family man. So her mom was like, you getting married. So when people are like, oh, she treating him like this, that's give her time to adjust to a decision that she wasn't really ready to make. So that's why I say we got to give them grace. Find out about that story first before you start, throwing, what do they say, throwing stones in the glass house?
Right.
Find out what's really going on. But anyway, so we're talking about non-negotiables. And I guess Will said this is non-negotiable. You ain't talking about my wife.
Right. He was not having that at all. He was like, okay.
I thought it was kind of sexy. He was like, huh? not so much what he did, but I don't know about you ladies, but even though I had some issues with my man, what I always loved about being married to the person I was married to, he never, I don't care if it's his best friend or somebody he rode with, he never let somebody talk sideways. Now he can say whatever he wanted, but he would never let anyone talk sideways about me. And I
Yeah,
always appreciate that because it made me feel like, okay, you know, he puts me first. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And that's a good feeling. And I wouldn't,
it
I'm not
is.
saying I want people to lose their jobs or do something
Yeah,
criminal, but
right.
I don't. It would not be bad to me, even if Will had just cussed them out. I would have been
Right,
okay with that. I think we all would have been okay with that.
right.
So to me, I wouldn't say that that's it's only non-negotiable because honestly, you put your hands on somebody, you could possibly go to jail.
Yeah,
You
yeah. Or
your
you might
freedom.
get yourself hurt. These days, it's like you don't know you running a risk, but like everybody, like he wouldn't do that to such and such. But no, but yeah,
I don't
and
know.
I
We don't
appreciate that.
know.
Yeah, that, and that's what I'm saying. But I don't think, no, my husband wouldn't go up there and slap somebody, but he ain't gonna let nobody talk bad out of
Talk
them.
about you. No,
Not
definitely not.
not even my family. He was like, nah,
Mm-mm.
he'd come to my aid, and even if we have words outside of everything, but
Yeah.
in public, he's not
We
gonna
could have
let
just had a
like
fight and he'd still be like, "What you say?"
yeah,
And I appreciate that because that's a
exactly.
whole nother topic. We'll talk about boundaries. You need to talk about how you're gonna be represented when you're around other couples, your family. Okay, no matter what, we ain't fighting in front of them. We're
Right.
gonna handle that at home. That
Right.
whole fighting in the street stuff. And if that's for you, you talk about that. That's just not for me. But yeah, so that's a non-negotiable. You ain't gonna
Yeah.
be cussing at
Deal
me in
breakers.
front of people. You ain't gonna be
So
embarrassing me in front of people.
everybody has a breaking point, and I believe that it's an individual thing, and it
Yeah,
depends on what stage you are. And
right.
I'm speaking from a 40 something perspective. At this point, it is a lot of things differently that was a deal breaker for me back then, and the deal
Mm-hmm.
breaker for me now,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them similar. Um, when it comes to jobs after this pandemic and after all this stuff, I'm gonna get the salary that I want, regard because I
Okay.
have the experience. Whether I have a degree or not, that's irrelevant because
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things that I could do that a lot of people that I worked under cannot. And so I'm like, on my experience alone, you're gonna give me with this, or I'm not coming there. I'm not traveling far distance across the world. You're not gonna offer me no parking. And it's just like I'm working a 9 to 5, so I'm able to be more selective now. So that's deal breakers for me. Whereas before, you would have to, because your kids are small or whatever, you have to do what you had to do and take whatever job and whatever scraps you were given. But
Mm-hmm.
at this point in my life and where we are now, I have options. So that's a good,
Right.
and it's a deal breaker for me for just anything. Yeah,
So no negotiating when it comes to salary.
no
That's
negotiation
non-negotiable
at all.
after
Never,
40.
right.
Okay.
Never gonna negotiate that. We can negotiate the price a little, but we're not gonna come down or put me beneath where I think I should be at this point in my career. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
professional, and I will be treated as such. And so yeah. Um, what else? Yeah. And then when you're at the job and you have disrespectful people, and I don't care what position they hold, I don't care if it's the president of the United States, you're gonna talk to me, you're gonna put some respect on my name. You're not gonna talk to me like you, my child, you're out of pocket.
I think that should be in anything, right? And everywhere you're
But
gonna
you have
demand
so
that.
many people you're working with. So now in the workplace, it was just baby boomers and Gen Xers. Now we have millennials and Gen Z. So it's you got four type of generation people working in the workplace, and that could be
Yeah.
challenging because they have different ideas, different way that they handle things. You might have your baby boomers who are always like, "I'm the boss," and then that's it, and they don't want to hear anybody's input, or it's just real challenging But respect is something that should be across the board. Nobody
Yeah,
should be talking to anybody.
no matter what
Or
age.
right, or don't be dismissive of people because you may not agree with the way they do things or how
Mhm.
they do respect and it's the way. So if an idea don't like it's to talk with them, then you can go from there. But you're gonna put some respect in my name. Um, that goes
Oh, you may
that
have to
goes
say
for
that one
uh,
part back. You
family
started going
too.
this computer mode. It went a little computer at the
Oh,
last
you
sentence.
can't hear me?
Yeah, it started. It was just
Oh,
dragging
I
a
said
little
no. You
bit.
just have to put some respect on my name. That's it.
Oh,
That's
right,
it in a
right. We
nutshell.
did. Mm-hmm.
hmm and that goes for family too, because sometimes family can try to talk to you sideways. But anybody's diaper that I've changed, anybody that I babysat, I have a
Uh-oh.
problem with you being disrespectful. We can disagree, but you're not going to be disrespectful. You're not going to yell at me, and you better not call me out my name and be with an arm reach, because you will catch a Will Smith. And I'm gonna leave that.
That's
I'm
what's gonna be
sorry.
called catching a Will Smith. Boy,
Yeah,
would you
if
catch
I
a Will
changed your
Smith?
diaper and stood up any amount of time with you, babysat you, provided any type of service out of love for you, you will not disrespect me.
Don't
And
catch a Will Smith.
even my cousins or my siblings who are younger than me, only about 2 years or so, you go no, don't talk to me. I'm not gonna disrespect you, and you're not gonna disrespect me. That's what
So
you're not gonna
non-negotiable is disrespect.
do. Disrespect is non-negotiable. Yeah, yelling
Okay.
and I won't have anything to do with you. Like you can't really disconnect totally from family, but you can. So I just like see you or somebody
Well,
try
okay.
me.
Lay them out. Lay them boundaries out. That's what I say to you guys. I can't know that unless you tell me. People assume people know, but I'm sorry. I know I'm going off. So non-negotiables, just in life in general.
Well, when it
Um.
comes to jobs, or we haven't gotten to relationships yet, because
Oh,
like
okay. We started with jobs. Gotcha.
jobs or family, like people get into big tips over money and stuff. I'm not, because I
I would
figure,
say just don't do anything with money with your family if you can help it. Just don't.
or get it
um.
in writing, because you can take them to
Yeah,
court.
if you do, and I was gonna say what's non-negotiable is don't. A friend of mine said, and they probably kill me, but I thought it was good. When people ask for money, they'll say, "I'll give you." They'll ask for two. They might ask for 500. Well, I'll give you 100. And they say the word give because they know they're not going to get it back. You know what I'm saying? There's no
Right,
expectation. You're not dragging me. And I gave what I was comfortable giving. Plus, I still got to keep the 400 in my bank account.
right,
But when you say borrow, I expect to get it back. So it's like it's versus just don't give, don't let anyone borrow money. Just
right,
say that unless you can trust them, you have that thing. I'm talking about family. Um, you can say like I'll give you this unless it's somebody is gonna pay you back, they got your back or whatever. But I like that concept, the word give. So
right.
it's non-negotiable. Um, it could be messy because things can happen. I could try to give it to you, but maybe something happened or something. It's just give them what you can and don't expect the rest. But I think that makes it much easier across the board. Like, great. You gave me this, I'm good, and I'm not looking for it back. There's no issues, no ill will. Because people, so when you say the word borrow, people expect it back, and they have timelines in their head that you didn't even know about.
Well, yeah, but no, but if you now, I've borrowed money from family before,
Hmm.
and they was very clear, when can I expect this back? So I have to
Hmm.
sit down
Yeah,
and
you
really
have to be
say,
clear. Exactly.
okay, we can get it back at this such and such time, and I do. And if it's going to be late, a day late
Hmm.
or $1 short,
You
I would
communicate.
be like, this is I can't. Is it okay? And I'll ask, is it okay? This happened. Can I give you this now? And then this. Then they'll sit down and either say yes or no, and they want it back. But for somebody
Mhm.
just not to pay you back, and you sat down and talked about a date and the amount and everything, that's wrong, and you will get cut off, and you get away with it. I won't hate you, but you will never be able to borrow from me again, never. And so don't even ask.
Yeah,
Don't even be like amnesia. Like, you got amnesia? Because I don't think so. That's what's gonna happen.
because some
Woo!
people be ignorant, like, where my $40 at? When I get my $40 back, then I'll give
And
you an
it
additional
depends on the
$40.
amount. It depends on the amount too. I'm
Like
gonna say,
40 bucks or 20 or dinner. Now, okay, you with me, my dinners are a lot. So maybe you might be expecting that money back. But like, okay, we went to Wendy's and you paid for my Wendy's. Like, it's not that deep. Or
yeah,
and if it is deep and you are counting pennies like that,
you
because
gonna
you
say
really
it,
are, you just gotta communicate and let them know, hey, I know I
right?
normally do this, but I
I'm
can't do
sure,
that no more.
right?
Yeah, I'm sure. I changed my job, or I'm investing, or I'm doing this. Well, you have to tell
Oh,
them,
I
it's like,
just need my money
I just need my money back. I know
back.
that I normally don't ask for gas money, or I normally don't ask for, this money, because for you to cash at me like $10, but every dollar counts. I'm saving every
Right.
dollar. And people,
And
if they can't
and
respect it, then you just know you're
right.
not going to deal with them in money and ever
Right.
again.
And I love communication, because I'll tell you and I love for people to tell me that, because then I'll just say yes or no. Yes, I
Yeah.
can do it. No, I cannot. And then we still cool. That way,
So that
no,
may be
there's
another
no
non-negotiable. No communication. You got to
um
communicate.
but let's get into the the thick of it. Okay, but so the question, the original topic I was going to say was going to be um what outside of cheating, because cheating is a whole nother, and I know people are like, huh,
Okay.
what? Cheating is a whole nother topic, because it's different levels of cheating, and I know some people be like, cheating is cheating, but
Hmm.
no, it's not. Cheating, it's different levels of cheating, and we're going to get into that last. But what outside of cheating is a deal breaker in a relationship? And we're gonna, well, dating, okay, a dating relationship, dating and marriage, again, two apples and oranges, because when you're dating, you're getting to know somebody, you're in the,
Hmm.
you're learning their likes, dislikes, things of that nature. But absolutely, these were things that are non-negotiable with whether dating, or people fall off sometimes when they get married, and things are non-negotiable. So I'm gonna jump right into body odor and bad hygiene. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can't, if your mouth is yuck mouth and you got like tartar buildup and plaque buildup and you got breath stink, that's that, you can't just be like, go brush your teeth. You really, not saying that they gotta have like perfect teeth and white teeth and nothing like super,
Hmm.
but they have to have clean hygiene, and like I can't be smelling stuff and seeing nastiness on your mouth, because you won't even get past the hi, hello. I'm like, ooh, yeah. I don't care how fine you look, what you driving, what you got on. If your hygiene is
So
not up,
smells non-negotiable.
yeah, I'm really OCD about that. I can't be seeing
Okay.
like crust in your eyes and boogers in your
Okay.
nose.
So make sure you clean yourself up before you present yourself to you. But so that means if somebody didn't wash their face or they may have missed it. Well, that's first
Don't try to talk
impressions.
to me.
Yeah,
Don't
and
don't try to
impressions
talk to me.
period. So what
Yeah,
else? What
hygiene
else?
is first. Um, Gosh, which it should
And
be
this
for
is so we're
everybody, but
concentrating on, mainly we're thinking about uh dating, not marriage so much. When
not
we're
not
talking about
married. Not at this point. We get to that later. But married, but
that might be another show, guys.
dating,
um
dating with just I guess initial dating. I don't know. I don't know.
uh
That's a deal
I
breaker.
think, no, I would agree that hygiene is very important. Like, even if I took a shower that day, if I'm going to see somebody, especially if I'm going to see a guy, I'll take another shower.
Right.
because it's like, and it's not that I smell or anything like that. You just want, you somehow you just want to feel your freshest before you step
Right.
out. You know
And
what I'm saying? Or you don't feel comfortable. And it's not about being sexual or anything like that. It's just that you just, for me, like, you know your body and you know what you need. And then if you've been, even if you've been sitting all day, it's like you've just been all, it's been all day. You just been
right.
all day.
They
So
got all
I do think,
day.
or seeing your friends, I'll do that too. You like, you want to be at your freshest, but especially if you're me, if you're talking about dating,
Right.
um, and so yeah, that's important. Hygiene is important. Well, I'm not. I guess I'm kind of dating. I don't know.
Deal
I
breakers.
think I think it's bad if they never they never pay or they never. I'm a reciprocal person, so how I see it, if I say, "Hey, do you want to go to this?" I'll get the tickets. If it's like a movie, because I do it, everything's done ahead of time. I won't like wait around and say, "Hey, you're gonna get the asking you to do something and then make you go through the work to." I want you to accompany me. But I know
Right.
some people have deal breakers. They feel like that the man should, kind of always pay, and I get that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I
No,
think for me, a non-negotiable is when a woman's always doing something for the man and they don't ever
right.
get anything back. So I believe it should either be reciprocal or one person should do it for the other. But it's like, the men will argue that, hey, we want to feel special too. But I do think I'll say this to the ladies, don't be mad at me. Man, if you're dating a woman these days, I'm talking about especially in the DMV area, and they all make their own money and they never do nothing for you, that's kind of a red flag to me that they never do anything for you.
Yeah.
Never. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about even getting you that coffee you wanted. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it has to
Right.
be expensive. Like, oh, I know you like these coffees, so I got it for you. I don't know about that. I don't know if you got a real one. And some people might shoot me for this. I'm just saying, if they never do anything for you, you may be being used. I'm talking about in our area because there's too many independent women here just to be sitting back expecting a man to always show them how they care. Once they
Our
prove
area
it,
in the DMV,
yeah,
DC, Maryland, Virginia.
yeah, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And now, if I'm, of course, if you're used to 5-star meals, I can't afford that. I can afford it maybe once, but maybe every once in a
For your
while. But if
birthday.
if
Right.
you if you do things for, to me, that would be a non-negotiable if I was a guy, and for a woman. If you're doing things for this person, you're dating, and they never do anything back for you, even if you're just friends. You mean my friends do stuff for each other. So why would
Yeah.
I expect? So why would I do something? Me and my friends doing things for each other, say we care. But the guy that I'm into, I never do anything for. I just expect him to give me everything.
Oh
It's
no.
just
Yeah.
that's
No.
not that's not a good look. You might
No.
not have
That's
a real one there. Like it should be
yeah.
something. Like I
Oh,
cooked
that's
you
a deal
dinner.
breaker. So
Yeah,
it's a
yeah, I
it's
think
a
that would be a deal breaker for me. These
so
days,
it'd be
I
a
think
deal breaker if the person never reciprocates.
never
Like,
reciprocates.
oh yeah,
No
yeah.
matter what your values are, never show how you care. I think that's a major deal breaker.
Yeah, guys, how do you feel about that? We want to hear from the guys to see
Yeah,
if you feel
that's a
like
different perspective.
yeah. Some men are old school and feel like that if they dating, they
She should
want to
still
do
do something
everything.
for them. She should
Yeah,
still. They say no, but they'll still feel like it was nice if she could. See, for them, it may not be monetary. It could be cooking dinner. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It could be oh, he really likes Bruno Mars, so I went and got him those Bruno Mars tickets. You know what I'm saying, for us to go together. Like I feel like that's the deal breaker for me. And I'm saying for men or women, if you're constantly
But how soon?
putting in
Like
effort for
how
that.
soon in the how soon in the dating game? Like, is this something long term or because I'm not buying no gift if somebody do that just
No,
now.
no, and that's why I said it should be appropriate to the time. Like, um, I bought you that coffee. You know what I'm saying? It's different from buying Bruno Mars tickets. I think stuff comes with time and
Right.
consistency. So that we're talking about dating. I'm talking about they've earned these little steps, and the
You trying to
steps should get
woo.
bigger and
You trying
bigger.
to get the
Yeah,
woo 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 and the woo woo
yeah,
woo.
yeah. I don't. And then some men may think it's a deal breaker that the woman doesn't put out, but that means it depends on her religion, her values. some people may slow walk you, but I can say this: if they really do like you, it's not so much they'll wait on it, but they'll be patient enough to, you
Right.
know, not rush you. But I think being, especially these days, I think that there is steps and times, but eventually you should see some reciprocity. Lauryn Hill said it.
Right. Oh
She
Lord,
said it
Lord,
right.
some
She's giving us
reciprocity.
the playbook.
And
Yeah, I feel
no.
a deal breaker for me is a relationship or a date, especially a dating relationship with no reciprocity, because this is the time that you're showing me that you can be the best in something
Girl,
stable, right?
that
You're
is
supposed to
my
be putting
thing.
forth your best work, yeah, best effort and stuff.
I'm
So
trying to tell you.
that
That
would
is
be,
that is my thing. It's like I don't know if it's right, it was wrong, but I feed off of energy. So and that goes in any friendship, family,
yeah,
marriage. If you're giving me good vibes, you're gonna get them good vibes back and then some. Trust.
yeah,
Trust. So you don't have to worry about that. I got you. I got you. But you're gonna have to show me that you're worthy.
yeah.
And that
A woman
sound
will
ego.
reciprocate if they feel good. You've caught me making plates. One time, if a woman, and I'm not, if you know me, I don't do that. But I feel that going back to that happy wife, happy life, or that type of concept, I 100% believe people are like, oh, I don't know about that. I do believe that if you're
Yes.
treating that woman good, this I can only speak as a woman. If you're treating me good, I'm gonna want to cook you something. I don't want to cook for myself. I'm gonna want to cook you
Right.
something because I feel so good being around you, and it's not gonna feel rushed or somebody gotta. Oh, let me go do this. I can get something. Like when I say reciprocity, I don't mean tit for tat. I don't mean that. I mean something
Right.
naturally, a natural flow of wanting to
Right.
get
A
to the
natural
other.
flow of energy. Chatty
Right,
chat. Like,
right.
okay,
It's just flowing like this. I'm not talking
right.
about like this. You're basically
You gotta
slapping it back at each other.
go.
Because that person makes you feel so good. You're not counting the times of how many times you open the door or how many times you bought flowers. You're not counting it because you're just so grateful for the connection that you guys have. That's what I'm talking
Right.
about. That kind of reciprocity.
Right.
Anything other than that for me would be a deal breaker. I don't want tit for tat. I've had tit for tat. That does not,
No, that's
um,
not good.
no
All
one
right.
in it to count wrongs.
Other deal breakers. Well, first the big. Okay, so you've got absolute deal breakers and you've got kind of deal breakers. So absolute deal breakers can't be married or attached. Or can't have a newborn
Yeah.
baby. So
Okay.
that means that you was newly in like married, attached, with newborns, or if you have more than at an age. Well, I was terrible when I was dating because I did not. If you had a kid, mm, I was like, what? No, I was like, sorry. Be like, you got a what? I'm like, no, because then you got to deal with baby mamas, and I don't do baby mamas. But if you got more than two, and I'm thinking that was me then at that age. At this age now,
Hmm.
um, if you have more than two, I think two
Hmm.
is my limit.
Hmm.
If you have three, four, five, you
Like,
know,
but when we say two, like different baby mothers or something?
yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought you
If
meant
it's more
children.
than one, more than one because it didn't work out with the first one, and then you tried it with the second one. Okay, and then but
So they got so then you have more. So two is your limit.
that would be my limit. If I was to date at this
Okay.
time and age, that would be my limit, and it
Okay.
would have to be older children. It can't be somebody too, because that means that you were still recently in a relationship with that person, and that means you're
Okay.
gonna have to continue to be. And then some baby mothers can't let go. They just want to be around. They want to be in everything. They don't care if the kids are grown. They don't. They just want to be
Yeah.
around, just to be
That's
around, to be all up in
understandable.
your business. And I can't deal with it. That's annoying. Is I'm not gonna cuss. That's
So
annoying.
so let me ask you, is a deal breaker no baby mom? I mean no more than two baby mamas? Is that the deal breaker?
For me, for me,
Okay.
that would be a deal breaker for me. Um, like I said, two is the maximum, because if you having
Mhm.
three, that means that there is at least um you just running around having unprotected sex all the time, as far as I'm concerned. And if you got an
Yeah.
ex-wife, or it just means you're not being too careful. If you got an ex-wife, or and that's understandable. You tried another relationship and that didn't work. Okay, but if you got like five baby mamas, your
Yeah.
baby fathers, for the guys, I mean, some guys don't are with me on this one. I know, because they be like, she got about five daddies, and that's five dudes that I got to deal with on top of no, and then they didn't open it. These are might have more
Uh-oh.
bodies than that. Women might have that.
It's going out. You?
Mental thing for me.
Okay, there you go.
I'm just, but
So
it's
no,
like a
so guys,
mental block. It's just like
no more
like,
than two
hmm.
for her. If
Yeah, I'm not looking. I'm just
you're
saying if,
dating, if you're, and we're
these would
talking
be
about dating, we're talking about
dating.
dating
Yeah,
situations.
but that
Uh,
so if somebody
yeah,
had
I
three, four,
agree. It depends on the person, their maturity. I don't know about. I never thought about the number and the limit because I just connect to people. And then maybe I'm thinking differently because I still don't have children. Um, so what's but the relationship they would have for me they would have to either be completely over or um yeah, it'd be hard to navigate because you have to think about as a woman, it's hard not to be a woman and think about the other woman's feelings, you know what I'm saying, in
right,
that, and this is
right.
like, wait a minute, like you don't feel free to kind of be in it, so I can see that, I can understand that why that would be a deal breaker. I don't know. I don't know. For me, it's more like, uh,
Um, yeah, because it's
oh, huh? See, I don't know why you was thinking this little feed is going out. Um, but in general, yes, I do agree. I think she's coming back in. Okay, you were going out for a second. I can hear you now. Okay, no. um, so while that's spinning, so deal breakers for me would be no communication in dating and lying. After 40, do we really need to lie, guys? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I was just saying that my a deal breaker for me would be dating someone and they're lying. I'm talking about dating. Like, I don't have any ownership of you. You don't have any ownership of me. Why are we lying to each other? It's like, if it
James.
don't work out, I don't have your children. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no death in each other. I don't get not being honest about, and it won't be about serious stuff. It'll be like stupid little stuff.
Yeah,
So for me personally, it would be just
lying.
over
Yeah,
40. Why are we lying over 40? Why are we just can't tell the truth? We really scared over 40 that the person's gonna go away. Like by that
right.
time, especially for men, y'all got the money, the car,
Right.
the
Right.
houses.
Oh my
Y'all gonna
God.
get women. So why you have to marry? Why you have to lie to this one? um, I honestly would, when you don't tell me the truth, you're taking away my right to make an informed decision about whether I want to deal with you or not. So if you have a
Hmm.
child, let me know. Like, be transparent. To me, it's like if you have to lie, then you're not ready to date. You're just not ready to
Yeah,
be in a
and
situation.
it's so unnecessary at this age. It's like, come on now,
Yeah, that's
really?
a deal breaker for me. That's and it's a deal breaker because it's unnecessary. Um, let's be authentic. Let's be ourselves. We don't need to be perpetrating after 40. So if you feel the need to lie your way through stuff or about your background, now I can look you up. I can look up your friends, who you talk to, social media,
Social
and
media. You got
watch
a lot
out
of
for those
people
men who
doing
got no
things.
social media. They really doing some dirt because they know they're not
Yeah,
gonna get caught.
they don't want nobody to know what's
Yeah,
going on.
or not even men,
They
the women too. If you know, so you can move a lot more.
red flag.
Um, huh?
It's a red flag if they don't have no social media. Something is at
Some
40.
people aren't comfortable. I have my ex and my one of my good friends. She's not with it, but I only get it if you're a Generation X or up. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't come up with that in your life. You get what I'm saying?
But
That's not
everybody,
something that you custom.
even employers look for your LinkedIn page. They look
Yeah,
to see.
that's
So
true.
if you don't
You
have
can
one,
have something.
it's a red flag.
They don't want it. They don't want to be found. Some people are private. Some people don't believe in it. So I get it. If you're a millennial though, I'm looking at you sideways because almost all y'all got one. But I'll give it to people like my mom doesn't have one. You know what I'm saying? Your mom, I don't know if your mom has one, but
No.
I'm like, yeah, they don't. So if you're of a certain age, then to me that wouldn't be a red flag because you didn't grow up with it. You had no need for it. It's not in your, space. That's not. I get that. But that's a side note. But yeah, it's
That's
basically
baby
to
boomers.
me no communication, and lying. We would not date well. We would not last 1 minute, and somebody bragging about themselves. For
Right.
me, that wouldn't work for
Um,
me dating.
ghosting. Ghosting is a deal breaker. You can't tell me that there is not enough time in the day that you can't send a text. You've got so many different
Oh
ways
yeah,
of
ghosting is a
communication.
deal breaker. Yeah,
Email, text, something.
yeah,
You can't all day long. You got all the 24 hours in a day, and you can't say two words. Then don't call me. Don't call me. We don't even need to talk no more. Matter of
yeah.
fact.
It's clear you don't really want to. Well, I know you're not a priority. I'm not saying I'm supposed to be with dating, but a little bit. Like, hey, I hope you had a good day.
Yeah, it don't cost you nothing to speak. Hey,
Yeah.
how's your day?
Or
Hope
if we're not
everything's
going
good.
to do that, let me know. This is what I'm talking about, boundaries. Let me know, hey, I'm not one that talks on the phone all the time, not one that texts every day, but I will check in with you throughout the week. Like, be realistic. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Don't lie.
Not every
Communicate.
day. No,
Yeah,
no. But
communicate.
a whole week
Communicate.
can't
And
go
some
past.
people expect that. Some people expect they have expectations that's going to happen, but no, you assuming stuff in your mind that y'all didn't even talk about. It doesn't work like that.
And
You
that
know.
goes for married too. If you married and you work separate places, let's just say, and you can't get a call throughout the day or a text, hey babe,
Yeah, I
thinking
don't know
about
about
this.
Mary. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all accountable to each other. I'm sorry. There's no
Yeah,
way
and
a
at
day
least
should go by and you don't
no,
hear from
that
your
can't
husband or
work.
your wife.
That
That's
doesn't work. That's
unless you got an open marriage or unless you got a third person you're talking to that live with y'all, polyamorous or whatever. If you're a heterosexual and I'll say this, but then I'll also go back to um I'll circle back. If you have boundaries and say, hey, we can be married, but I don't want us, to be on each other every, 5 minutes and negotiate and talk about what that looks like for you as a
mm,
couple.
no,
So if
no,
you don't
no.
adhere to that, that's a problem.
Ghosting,
You
ghosting
can't be
doesn't.
ghosting
So for
nobody.
me, ghosting is not every 5 seconds or not even every
Mm-hmm.
day. Ghosting for me means how would I? If you
Like,
go a week, if you
oh
go
yeah,
2 weeks,
that's
and don't say anything, hey, hi, hope you die, anything, you know, saying
I
two
hope you
words,
die.
or you don't send a I just think it's unnatural. How do you not send if
It's
I'm getting like
unnecessary. You doing
the
stuff now.
messages
That
that we
goes back to
send
the
each other?
lion. That goes back to the lion mode. We now we're going back to the lion page because something
Yeah,
ain't right. It's unnecessary.
but I like
You know.
sending, like if I see an article or something funny, I know how it gets tired of me sending messages, but I'm gonna send them anyway because that's how I am. If I think it's
Mm-hmm.
something funny, I want you to laugh too. If you don't think it's funny, too bad. Just read it anyway. Pretend like you read it. Just hit the thumbs up sign. That's what I tell my sons. I'm a person. I love communication, and it doesn't have to be all constant. But if I send you a message and you get so busy throughout the day, I understand people get busy days. But the whole week go past and you can't respond, be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I was busy, thumbs up, hope you're doing good, the okay sign, something, but just nothing. I don't, that's a deal breaker. That would be a deal breaker for me. I'd be like, okay, that means you don't, in my eyes, that would mean you don't want to be bothered. And so I'm not going to bother you. I'm going to take myself and keep on moving. Um, what else would be a deal breaker? A drug addiction. Yeah. A drug addiction. I'm not coming in. We're not
Ain't
coming in with
even
problems.
talking. We don't have to worry about that. We're not even dating.
Right. But I mean, just
You're not even a contender for
people
us to
who
talk
have,
about.
like, if you have an addiction, you smoke or you drink.
Nothing against anybody who does. I just you have to know where
No,
your
no. I
tolerance
mean,
levels are. You can
it's one
manage.
thing. It's one thing for recreational, and that's what you do to chill and unwind. But if you're
Yeah,
habitual and you gotta have constant like smoke, you gotta have constant drink all every day, all day to unwind. That means you don't have any use for me because you already have what you need to make you feel good. So you don't need me. So you got addictions, and that's we not doing that because I don't feel like going through no 12-step programs and we just in the date phase. So we can't even
yeah.
go past go because you've got all these other monkeys on your back. Um.
You said monkeys.
Oh gosh, what else? Well, people say unattractive. That's beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What's good for some people, I don't.
Well, some people. I mean,
Everybody don't have the same taste, and some people just so thirsty that everybody is their
I,
taste. They be like, "That's my type. That's my type."
I mean, for some people, they can't. It's not about falling in love. They can't be, intimate without being attracted to the person. So, and then some people can do everybody and anything. So, I mean, it just,
It's like I like her. I like her. All the girls around the world, and that's fine. But
yeah.
at this age, I think being a hoe is no. You can't be a hoe.
Well, and everybody's gonna be different. We all by this time people have had babies,
But
they've
that's a
gained
no. That's a turn
weight, a
off.
lot of stuff can come
If
up.
you're out there at this age,
You're not gonna
just
get everything.
just all the time with it. No, just out there, just with anybody, everybody would do. That's a turn off because it's just like you know, you just with the world. I'm like, okay, you just looking for somewhere to
I don't
just
know. Sometimes those, people say that, but sometimes the not so attractive as you may be used to, they slide in. You're like, oh wait, I didn't know this is going to happen. People say
um,
that, but they change. I don't feel like attractive. I think we should have a show about that. Is attractiveness a major factor after 40 because people start to look for more deeper stuff. Because I feel like in your
and
20s, you're like, he gotta look good, you know.
yeah, I mean, 20s, you got to be physically attractive, but I think it's a mental. For me, at this age, it would be mental stimulation. What
Yeah,
can we have a conversation other than what you're wearing and what you're eating? That's not
yeah,
that's not a connection. We
yeah,
gotta have a deeper conversation. We got to be able to talk about something else.
yeah. I don't
And
think you can get in anywhere if we can't talk.
yeah, we can't have a.
You
If
said
I'm using
communication was
words,
a deal breaker, and that might be why. Maybe after 40, you want more
yeah, after
communication.
40, you don't want no dummy or somebody who's still trying to be
By now,
thug.
20 years later, you should have learned something. At least that's what's in our
Something.
brains.
Please learn something, or
Mature
fake
in
like you
some kind
know.
of way. Yeah, at least fake like
Um,
or
smart
I
is
love
sexy.
intelligent men. Huh?
Yes, smart is
Yeah.
sexy. Smart. If you
Smart
read,
and woke. Because some people are out here, they grew up, but they didn't mature.
right.
They still got like 17-year-old minds and
Yeah, you be like,
or
what are we
21-year-old
doing?
minds. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you have to someone who's
yeah,
mature and intelligent.
somebody who's stuck in
Not being that's a deal breaker for me. Someone that I can't talk to, someone who's not understanding. I
right,
can't do it.
right.
I can't do it. That's actually probably right there under like the honesty part. Like, oh, I couldn't make it because we're talking about dating, right? Oh, I couldn't make it So, um, I had an emergency with my family. No, you didn't. What are you talking about? I was looking, like people be real extra, like, or they think, oh, she didn't really have no emergency, or someone who's like, oh, okay, I get it. Hey, do you need help? You want me to
Right,
come help you? Like, and they offer it, and on top of the understanding, they offer like to actually help. To me,
right.
that's like good. But someone who's not understanding, someone who demands your time without putting effort in, is a huge deal breaker in just
Yeah.
in dating. Because like I don't know if I
Uneducated.
want to get to that stage with you because you don't even understand that I had to be late today.
Yeah.
You had no
Um,
understanding in that. Um,
yeah. Uneducated. That's definitely a turn off. That's a deal breaker.
mhm.
We can't even. It's not that you have to be some super scholar or whatever, but you're not even willing to learn, like you said, who's not even willing, who make mockery because you
Yeah.
know, because you can speak. Are you talking in your white girl voice? Or you're like, what? Because I'm speaking in
Oh
a
wow.
professional
Okay.
voice. You know, that's yeah, that's a turn off. That's a deal breaker because we can't
Okay.
even we can't. It's not going to go anywhere, and if it's not going anywhere at this point in my life, why bother? It's like
So ladies, don't date no dum dums. Oh, no. And if, well, tell us what y'all deal breakers are. You was like, I can't. You could see the comments and stuff. Let us know. Which I know someone said unattractive, but yeah, let us know. DM us. Tell us if you want to talk about this much further as well.
and unattractive could be many different things. It could be an attitude, somebody who has anger
That's
issues.
true.
Um, it could be
Yeah,
it's a lot of things other than
vague.
physical, or somebody who's
That's
not
true.
taking. Now you gonna pick up some weight maybe at this age, but somebody who just let themselves
Yeah.
all and not even trying at all to ever hit the gym or do anything about
Well,
it.
there's a difference between picking up weight and just being like not doing anything to take care of yourself.
Yeah, just it's a
Okay.
big difference. Or not even willing to. Because I'm looking for somebody to be like, all right, come on, let's go work out.
Yeah, let's do this
Put on
together.
weight.
Let's use this together.
Or not just sit and be criticizing, oh, you gained weight and oh, what you doing with no, that can't work either. That's a deal breaker. Because it shuts you down and you can't get that intimacy when you've got somebody constantly being negative or, you know, it's like, okay. Then when you yell, I'm sorry, I'm in the astrology, y'all. When you yell at Leo or you come with all this criticism, we put up like this brick wall and we no longer hear you. But you have to say you become so irrelevant that it's not even funny. You'd be like, you just talking yourself out of all kind of stuff. But if you're okay with if you like it, I
Uh-oh.
like it. We're like, okay. What else? I think it's a lot of little things. People
Hmm.
say bad sex, um,
Somebody
bad
said
sex,
bad sex. Uh-oh.
bad sex, and bad kissing, bad sex.
I think bad kissing is probably worse for me.
Yeah, because you can't even get to the,
You
you
probably not
know,
even want to get to that.
yeah. And again, these things should be discussed. And people should know what you like. Some people don't like
Some
kissing.
people don't care either, I
Yeah, some
guess.
people don't care and they still have sex. I don't know how you have sex without kissing. I
Oh,
don't
really?
really.
A lot of people
I
do.
mean, that's not my. That wouldn't. I mean, I'm just saying. That's just not
I
because for
mean,
me,
I
that's
guess you should. I guess you should know something. You should know
that.
something.
I guess that's foreplay for some people, and
Yeah, too, and
for you
it
not
depends.
to do it, like
It depends on the
or
type of relationship. I suspect that if kissing isn't all if it isn't happening ever, those two people don't want to connect. They don't want it to be because to me, kissing is more intimate than sex.
mm,
Because
so they don't
kissing to
want.
me elicits more feelings than sex, and some people are like, "What?" I mean, it just you draw into each other's face, you rub each other's hair. You know what I'm saying? It it emotes more like more of a deeper connection. Anybody can bump bodies.
That's true. So
Anybody can
kissing
bump
is
bodies. It's so
yeah,
intimate.
maybe yeah, some people they will say that kissing they don't want to kiss because it makes them closer to. So, but if it's somebody that you are in a
Right.
relationship or been dating for a while and you still don't kiss,
Yeah, it might be an issue. Or
yeah.
maybe they just I don't know.
But then is that
Um
that's a deal breaker? If you never kiss, that's because it's not gonna be like that's a deal
he's like, no,
breaker.
no, 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 no.
It's not an absolute deal breaker, but it is definitely a
I mean,
deterrent.
it depends on what you want out of it too. If you want at least to have connection, then yeah, I can see that being a deal breaker. I can.
Now, what about and men and women need to answer this. Is if your person doesn't how can I say this in a nice way? Provide some type of other foreplay, you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we're
yeah,
talking about like congolingus or
yeah.
fellatio. I'm doing the very
Okay, you were using
medical
the
terms.
yeah,
Yeah.
we using the medical term.
Or
Okay,
I don't know. I've heard some other weird stuff, but
but they said that um a lot of people said that's a
is
deal
that's
breaker.
a deal breaker for people in
Yeah,
dating? We're
and
talking about dating, right?
dating,
If I'm
girl. It's
dating you,
obviously it's yeah. So back then it
I
was
gotta know
taboo,
you, and you gotta know me to
right?
do all that, right? No.
Right. But back then it was
Taboo. Okay.
it's
Uh oh. You've well,
it
why
was
you?
taboo back
Oh,
then,
there
but
she
now
go.
I guess I don't know.
Um, that's generational too. If you ask anybody that's like 60s and up, well, I would say women. I think men are always down for that. You
Well,
get,
no, it's a lot of
no.
old school guys who don't.
Yeah, I don't. No, I'm just saying. I've only heard women. I haven't heard. I'm not making any generalization. I just haven't heard. Oh, take it back. No mind. I'm thinking about patient we used to have. I'm thinking about something about them, but I've encountered more women of a certain age going, "Oh my gosh, no, that's disgusting," or But I think it was like taboo when something you did. It was like sinful, or I don't know what their thoughts were about it. And then this today, people don't do it, they just don't like it, and that's okay too. Those are boundaries, and that needs to be discussed before you. And that's the perfect time to discuss it in the dating relationship, so it doesn't end up being a relationship,
But
a
every
committed relationship.
it's like now it's sensationalized. It's like in every Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Meg The
Yeah,
Stallion, Doja Cat,
movies, shows, everything.
Janae Aiko, everybody's just talking about what they do and
Reality
how
TV.
they yeah, so and all the rappers, all the male rappers, that's what they talking about. They gonna blow somebody back out and they gonna do this and then so it's just yeah, it's like hyper whatever. It's just like now it's almost I guess it's the expectation
Hmm.
and is it a deal breaker? If you're dating and the guy that you're dating or the lady that you're dating say that they don't do that, is that something that you know that you're going to want later on and going to try to convince them to do, or you go outside of your relationship and get that if that's something that you like, that you really
I
like?
think if you're
But
dating them and you know they're not going to do it and you're dating them anyway, then the two people should just know that it's not going to go to a serious relationship because you deserve to have what you want in your relationship. Um, that's how I see it.
mm,
Um, so you're either going to stop dating them or continue dating them, knowing they're not going to be the one you end up with because that's important to you. So
yeah, and that's I mean they have a lot of so when you get further, that's like the beginning stages of dating, and we going past our whole hour, but it gets deeper because it's like, okay, now you want to check into, so you long-term dating and slash into marriage, you want to be checking other things. Bad credit at this point in your 40s,
Mhm.
deal breaker, because
Mhm.
you can't move forward until they address their credit issues. Not saying to cut them off, but you definitely don't want to go down the aisle if they got a whole bunch of stuff lagging on it they're not addressing, or
Right.
bad with finances. You want to definitely have them again address that. Not saying that they're a bad person, not saying that they can't turn it around, but before at this age, going into your 40s and beyond, you don't want to start something or
Yeah.
continue with somebody who is not on a certain level with that. So that
So
would
you
be a
could you not be dating then? Seriously?
well, I
If you're
mean,
trying to
you're dating them, but they if they're not going to address it, then I think you should call it off. You
Okay,
can't.
so you can date them, but they need to be working on it
They need to be working on it, or at least
and
admitting that
vigilant
they
or care about it. Putting
right
energy into it.
with a credit counselor or something, addressing
Okay.
it and getting stuff removed and learning about it. Because at this point, they old enough to know better, and it's
Yeah.
really that they don't care. So if they're not caring
Well,
about their
we
credit,
assume people are old now. Some people, I know for me, it's still a learning process. Not the credit, just finances.
well, no, and it is for me too. But I'm just saying, you know about credit now, and you
Yeah.
know that you can't get anything without it. So you
Yeah.
know that you have to build that up,
That's at
clean
least
it up,
care about keeping it up, building it up. And yeah,
and
that's
you have
true.
Google now, so you can just see what can I do to fix my credit,
Right.
and then check out these companies and see if they're legit or really handle it yourself. You don't need to pay somebody to do what you can do. Write a letter to the credit bureaus, call these people and see why this is on your credit. Just be more, um,
That's
because
true. That's true.
that's a deal breaker. And then we get to the infamous cheating, 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 cheating.
Hmm.
Okay. Is that a deal breaker for me? I'm not now, honey. If you're watching, you do not get a pass. No, this is not an open marriage, so you know you can't cheat. But I'm just saying it's different. It's different levels, and people were like, "No, it's only one cheating." Would I leave somebody because they were in the heat of the moment, they got drunk, and they kissed somebody else? No. Um, if they had a one night stand, no.
Okay.
And I'm being honest. I would be mad. I'm not saying that I wouldn't address it or approach it,
Hmm.
and we would have some words or some things going on about it. But is it an absolute deal breaker? No. Maybe for men. I don't think men. For maybe for men it is, and that's why we was talking about Will earlier. But obviously he gave permission. That's what the boy August said. So that's a whole nother topic. I don't understand that, but
Well, I mean,
because
what can
I'm a
you do? They
government.
was split up.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's different levels. So if you're separated but not divorced, or if you're on a break, if you're dating and you're on a break, y'all break up for a while and you have an affair, or you sleep with somebody, or it is bad as, let's say, y'all are together in a full-fledged relationship, living together,
Hmm.
everything's good, and then you sleeping with her sister or his
Okay.
brother or his best friend. That to me is a different level. um Bringing somebody into your home, into your bedroom, is a different level than meeting a one night stand at a hotel. You see, I'm saying
Hmm.
it's different levels of disrespect. It's all cheating, yes, but some cheating would be forgivable. Certain circumstances would be forgivable, more forgivable than others. You see what I'm saying? So that's
Hmm.
when I say, that's what I mean by
But
different
what's
levels.
non-negotiable or negotiable?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it would have to be a lot of variables. And again, it's not a pass. It's not
Hmm.
that I'm okay with it, but it would have to be, it's conditional. It would definitely have to be on a case by case basis, whether it's non negotiable or not. Obviously, is it going to have the same effect? Or some people, and I don't know, and I'm gonna ask you how you feel about that. Some people, it doesn't matter. Cheating is cheating, and that's it across the board. If you sleep with a stranger versus
Hmm.
my sister, what Does that make a difference? To me, it would, because now I have two people that I have to address, and that's my relative
Yeah,
and my man.
it's
You know,
double the hurt, I guess,
right? It's
versus
double the
someone you
hurt,
don't know.
and it's somebody close versus the next door neighbor. Now I'll be like, okay, now what happened? I would be more willing to forgive or listen to what they had to say and what in their circumstance. That's all. Not saying it's a pass, but it would be a hard no for me to get over something that was closer to me than it is. Or if we were separated, I
True.
would it would be
Which
easier for me
Will
to
and
get over.
Jada was, and they riding him like real serious.
Right. Or you have somebody in my house. And that's just like you just not only did you cheat, but you being disrespectful about it. So I think it makes a difference. What do you say about that?
What's non-negotiable? Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
uh,
to you, is cheating, or is some of it more forgivable?
well,
Or
I will say this: for some people, we talk about Beyonce, Jay Z. Jay Z talked about having some childhood issues and things that happened to him that he thought he was trying to fill a void. So I think for some people, the reasoning or that's not out is getting understanding that what happened had nothing to do with them or how they felt about the person. I think that would be negotiable. But I think like for some, like you said, it's not at all. People will make mistakes, but people don't always have grace for those mistakes. Um, and then there's situations where, like you said, it's so disrespectful. Like, it could be, I mean, I'm just thinking about a lot of different examples, but it could be like somebody somebody that you're cool with. Tyler Perry does these things all the time. And the last show he had, I think it was the last movie he did, it was The Best Friend. And she was helping with the divorce between the two, knowing she was sleeping with her best friend's husband. So she represented her as a lawyer while she was sleeping with her husband. So some things is just like, okay, you cheated, but then cheating is already disrespectful. But the person and knowing them and having a relationship can exacerbate the situation. You know, there's something you just can't come back from. You know,
right,
so I think, but that unfortunately is hard to gauge because that's different for every person
right,
they can take, and it depends on how much you love. And then that word conditional and unconditional goes really hand in hand with that. So if you have an unconditional love and your spouse or partner or girlfriend seems really genuinely upset about it, and they want to go and do the work, then that could be negotiable. If they just talk about what they didn't get and how you wasn't doing for them, and if they start making excuses, then maybe that's non-negotiable because there's no excuse, with it. But if they're like, oh, and posting blame on the other, it's like at the end of the day, like, okay, I know I could have handled that versus saying, I know I could have handled that a different way. I apologize. Anything other than that to me would be um, non-negotiable. That would be non-negotiable to me. Yeah, someone's like, I shut it down. I'm not even dealing with it. So it depends on how you feel about the person. Obviously, Beyonce must have had some unconditional something because it wasn't the first time, and apparently Jay Z cheated while she's pregnant with Blue. You know, so it was
so
several different times.
her love was she's unconditional love, and she really
She
loved
loved the
Jay-Z.
concept of their family.
Right,
They wanted their kids to grow up not in a broken home, even though she didn't, but her dad cheated a lot.
right.
So
And
it
she wanted
was
to make it work.
I'm actually shocked because her dad cheated and had a baby on her mom, and so I'm actually shocked that she chose
To
to
say.
do it. Maybe because Jay Z was different. Maybe he put the work in and her dad never did, and she saw that.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Maybe he was just like, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Yeah,
he
you have
said in his songs he had to chase her down because she left him. Well, I was told
You
was
had
looking for
something about.
partners in New York.
Oh yeah, he was like something about blue. She took care of blue, and he was like, "Not my baby." Like my
Yeah.
baby.
She was like, you can go ahead on. She sang about it. He sang about how he chased her, rapped about how he chased her. So um I think seriously, until you have to think about it for men, for women it's much I think it would be easier. I think for men it would be non negotiable. And the reason why I say that is because women don't always cheat just for sex. It
Right.
might be just for connection and stuff. But I think for women, it might be more negotiable for us because just because a man's having sex with somebody doesn't mean that um, he wants them, in that way. So I think yeah, he wanted to leave his family or he didn't want to be with them, whatever. I guess it can go both ways, but it
I
tends
just,
to happen that way.
I just think
Where women get more
more
grace than men.
women are more forgiving, and
Yeah, they are.
are men
And
are in their
understanding.
ego.
That
Um,
ego hit real hard. That ego hits different between,
yeah,
I
they
mean,
have a ego that's not gonna change, and so yeah, they're
yeah.
not able to forgive and move on.
There's no grace. There's not going to be.
So Will is
And
a
because look at poor Will Smith, because people want, and we don't berate our sisters because they did something wrong. We surround them with love, but there are men like, man, you go back to her. There's a lot of name calling
right,
and self calling, and they
right.
really like the reaction for men. It's not fair. It's not fair.
Mm-mm.
The reaction
It,
for men
it,
is much different than it would
it's
be
a
for women.
double standard, but I guess
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
messed
deal breaker
up.
for them.
So,
And
so they have
so
to be worried about how they look.
I will leave you men with this: don't dish it if you can't take it.
Yeah,
Just don't do it because it's a deal breaker for most men.
yeah.
Women, not so much. We tend to tolerate a lot more, especially if we really let the person.
Especially we
Um,
have children with them.
yeah, and it doesn't give them a pass. It doesn't mean that we accept it, but it's just again, some things are just more hurtful because if you go out here and have a baby with somebody, that's a constant reminder
Yeah,
that not only did you cheat, you cheated, and then you put me at risk because now you're sleeping with people and with no protection, and then you bringing it back home to me.
yeah. It's not.
Um, so that's guaranteed that you didn't use a condom or that
Yeah,
it broke. Um, and
yeah.
who knows how many more? There's habitual cheaters who just have, and then there's some who have. I've heard about people, and I'm in this conversation because we've been in here forever. But I've heard people who've had long term cheating, well, long term affairs with the same person, meaning they was married to
I'm end
somebody
up
else,
marrying them.
and then they
Yeah,
had a whole nother relationship with this person for just as long or longer than they had with their spouse. I don't get
yeah.
that. I don't get it. Um,
Like, oh,
it,
having someone the whole time
the
from
whole
day
time
one.
to the
Or
point that
maybe that person was married, or that person didn't want a commitment, so they and that other
no,
person
no,
wouldn't be in a commitment.
both of them were married to other people. One
Oh,
had a
okay.
husband, one had a wife, and they were seeing each other for like 13, 14 years.
Do they
Um,
know? Do they know each other before they got married?
they worked together. That's it. They met each other at
Oh
work,
yeah, yeah. Those work relationships are dangerous. Don't do
and
it.
it was to the point. This is how crazy it was. The man died at her house, her and her husband's house. And so then that had to be on the police reports, that had to be on the coroner's notes, the house that they died. So her husband was like, and his wife was like, you bury him, since that's where he was. He wanted to spend his final days. So he had a heart attack and died at her and her husband's house. I'm like, oh my lord,
Oh
that
wow.
need to be. That is crazy. So I get that was for his. Well, he was dead, but I guess for her
He
husband,
left
that
her
was a deal
holding the
breaker.
bag, so to speak.
Yeah, and that's a terrible way to go out. They be like, "How'd he die?" That's the first thing people always ask you. You be like, "That blickety blip was over some," and I'm just thinking she
I
had
think
to
he was
know.
happy. I'm sure his wife was. That's a horrible way for her. She got to think about the cheating part. She doesn't get to
Right,
address it. She doesn't get to
and
have
she
closure on it.
no closure, and then the kids. That's just terrible. Even though their kids were, I think, grown or mostly grown. They got that's how their dad went out with his
Yeah, that's
mistress,
kind of messed up.
and then the husband to the poor guy, the lady, he had another man die in his house while he
Wow.
was screwing his wife. So it's just terrible, and I just think that um, it's definitely for the most part a deal breaker. But like I said, some things can have closure and be remedied if the two people are willing to make it work. So
Yeah.
there you have it, guys. There you have it. We've been on here for any more deal breakers that you can think of that we didn't
Let
cover.
us know. I'm sure this will be another show. I think it'll be interesting to
Yeah,
have people just come on and talk about their deal breaker. Just have like a whole little panel of information when it comes to relationship stuff. And yeah, that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, there's a lot. Those are some good ones though. I think we talked about communication, honesty, not being reciprocal. We talked about
financial responsibility.
financial, different levels of negotiation, non-negotiable, negotiable with cheating. Um, you know, you know, talking on the phone, like, but not really going through with the cheating. Things may be different. Whatever it is indicative of there's something going on, and fix y'all situation. That's all I have to say. Fix your
And bad
situation.
hygiene. Don't have bad hygiene.
No bad hygiene. Yeah, so these
Non-negotiable.
are these are ours, but let us know, DM us and let us know yours. I know we were on here a little bit longer, but that's okay. We're gonna,
Yeah, we had a lot to say
we got a lot
today,
to talk
y'all.
about. Yep. So
This is a very broad topic. We can talk
yeah, it could be.
hours and
We can talk
hours.
hours about it. So anyway,
Don't
um,
forget to click like, share, subscribe, and that notification bell
thank you guys for
because we'll
joining
be on here
us.
every
For those who
Wednesday.
join, we appreciate you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And as usual, we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Bye.
I need an outro.